First things first, we're gonna get these ones out of the way right now. Yeah, right there. And that's pretty agreed upon. So now, let's get into the tier list. With the series finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out tomorrow, I decided it was a good idea to rank all the Star Wars movies and shows to this point. So,
this is where the fun begins.
And let's kick this off with the original trilogy and with A New Hope, Episode 4. And this is the movie that started it all. This movie kicked off this massive empire, no pun intended. Okay, it was a little intended, but this is the movie that did it, A New Hope, and this movie is great. It's fun and has a lot of humorous parts in it. When I was rewatching it, I forgot how funny it was at times, and I'm gonna put it in A, as I really wanted to put it in S just because of how it kickstarted this whole thing, but overall, I think the movies just get better quality-wise, even in that trilogy. And I know at the time, the budget, all that goes into it, but A is still solid, and I think that's the best place for it. Especially because The Empire Strikes Back, that movie is next, and this movie is universally loved by everyone, and I think most people agree that it's an S tier Star Wars movie, as it just does so much well. We get introduced to Yoda, we get the famous line, "No, I am your father," from Vader to Luke. That scene is just wonderfully done, and The Empire Strikes Back is an S tier movie. Return of the Jedi. This is my personal favorite from that trilogy. I really want to put it in S tier, but I'm going to put it in A. I will say I do think as it's gotten older and older that this movie does do better and really tries to creep up in here. But I just love this movie. You get Jabba's palace to open up, that green lightsaber. Then you get the intense scene of Luke and Vader and how Vader's turning back to the light side. It's just great. Just a great end to the trilogy. Vader redeemed. And it really kickstarts Luke, as we will see like in books and comics, stuff like that. Now we're going to get into the prequel trilogy. So episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I actually really enjoy watching this movie. I think it's may not be the best movie, but it's really fun to me to watch, especially because you get Darth Maul, pod race, Qui-Gon Jinn. I just really enjoy it, but I know most people don't like this movie, and I'm going to put it in C. I really did think about putting it in B, but we'll go C. And that leads us to episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now this movie, I know a lot of people really enjoy this movie. I'm telling you, we get Hayden Christensen for the first time, which is fun. I'm going to put it in D. I feel like this movie gets boring to me until the end, really. Anakin really annoys me, more so than the episode 1. And I'm just not a huge fan. Obi-Wan, I'm not really super intrigued with what he's doing in that movie either. So I'm going to put it in D. That one might be a little controversial, but that's where it's going. Now, Revenge of the Sith. I think this one easily S tier. If there was another tier, if I had SS in here, it'd be SS. I think it's the best Star Wars movie by far. It's great. I love it. Whenever I'm bored, I just put that movie on. It is non-stop action the whole time. You just have constant action. It's great. It really feels like the last movie in a trilogy because of the action. You had build up in 1, build up in 2, and then just everything going downhill and going up in flames in that episode. Up in flames? Anyway, moving on to the dreaded sequel trilogy. Now, A New Hope actually wasn't that bad. When it came out, a lot of people were excited, and you had people who hate the movie now. They were all really intrigued, loved what Snoke was doing in that movie. Everyone was trying to figure out who Snoke was, what his deal was. It was fun. I'm gonna put it in B. That may seem a little high, but it was a good movie, even though it did seem like a lot of it was very New Hope-like. They were very similar in that way. It was still a fun movie, and I think it really set things up to do well. There's some things I disagree with, but overall, I think it was a pretty enjoyable movie. The Last Jedi, this movie, we're going F tier, boys and girls. This movie's just not good. It was kind of boring, especially when you get to the casino stuff. It's really boring. And just how Luke is handled in the movie just doesn't make sense with Luke's character, in my opinion. And it really felt like a slap in the face, right? Because at this time, all the legacy characters that we knew and loved were really getting kind of shafted in this movie. So it's F tier, no doubt about it. And now we get to The Rise of Skywalker. Now this movie, it does do a lot more things well, as they try to fix it a little bit from the mistakes of The Last Jedi. And I'm going to put it C. It really isn't that bad. It kind of does fix some things, makes things a little bit easier to digest with the whole trilogy. So yeah, we'll put it there. Not much to say about it. Really, none of the sequel trilogy really intrigued me much. Like, I love Kylo Ren, but I didn't agree with a lot with what they did with the character. So we'll go see Rogue One. Rogue One is one of the best standalone movies, in my opinion. It's really good. It's funny. The characters are really well done. I'm attached to the characters pretty quick, especially for how the ending will go. And I'm gonna go A tier. Especially with the Vader stuff. Vader was awesome in it, especially the hallway scene. And overall, pretty good. Star Wars Rebels. Rebels, it took me a long time to get to the point where I actually watched it. But when I did, I actually didn't mind it. For a long time, the animation style really turned me away from it. I just liked the Clone Wars. But really, Rebels was fine. I thought it was pretty good. We'll put it in B. I love Kanan Jarrus. Ezra, very interesting character. I don't love him personally, but he was a pretty fun character. Chopper is goated. That's all I gotta say about that. And overall, just a fine movie. A lot of cool stuff with the Force as well. So that was pretty neat with that series. Resistance, I'll be honest, I haven't even watched this one. I have no desire to watch this one, so I'm just gonna put it here for now. Just no desire. I've heard some things. I don't like the animation much. I mean, if you've seen it, let me know how it is in the comments, and maybe I will have to check it out. The Clone Wars movie. Now, this is the movie. Now, I personally enjoy watching this. A lot of people don't, and I think the fact that it released in theater did kind of give it a disadvantage because it shouldn't have been released in theater. But we're gonna put it C. I don't mind it as much as others, but I can see why some people don't like it, as Ahsoka is not handled well in that. But she does turn around, so it's fine. Solo. I think Solo is a super fun movie. I'm gonna put it B. I think it's underrated in that people were just not happy with Star Wars at the time that it came out. I think that if that movie came out later, it would have been fine. It would have been more loved than it is now, because I do think people are starting to turn a little bit into liking it. I think it's done well, especially for dealing with a character like Solo, recasting. I think the recasting did fine, honestly. So, Solo's B. The Clone Wars series. Easy. I love the Clone Wars. Yes, there's some seasons, there's some things I don't agree with. There's some boring episodes, whatever. But just the context it gave us, and just what they did with Anakin and Ahsoka for that matter, I loved it. It was so well done. Obi-Wan Kenobi is great in it. Just everything about it. I love the Clone Wars. It was great. I watch it all the time. I almost watch it yearly just to keep up. You know? But anyway, The Mandalorian, that's an A. Great. Very well done. high quality. I mean, they've done such a good job with this new character that was just made up that even when he hijacked the Boba Fett show, he is the talk. He is that important and that good that people love those episodes. They want to see him. It was just great. And speaking of Book of Boba Fett, that's not on this list, but I'd probably put it C, maybe even D. The Book of Boba Fett, I just didn't like what they did with Boba Fett. I know they're trying to do this turning a whole new leaf and all that good stuff, but not really what we wanted, I guess. And the final battle, I guess, was like just against 20 pikes and in a town. That's it. That's all this led to, was just a little fight. Anyway, Book of Boba Fett would be done here or here. But overall, we got a good mix. We got a good mix in here. And I mean, the original trilogy is all pretty high, but I think it's for good reason. It's what started everything. Revenge of the Sith, the Clone Wars, easily top tier stuff. And as it goes for my favorite era, it's definitely the Clone Wars era, as it's just the content we've gotten for it, I think helps it, and it's just really good. Anakin's an awesome character, and they just do really well with the Clone Wars. Anyways, that's my tier list for Star Wars movies and shows. What did you like? What did you not like? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. We could talk about it. But anyways, if you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really means a lot for the channel. And I hope you guys have a good day, and may the Force be with you.